Hello, this is Joel Salatin, and welcome. Thanks for talking to us today on International Permaculture Day. This is Mike Grenville from Transition Forest Row. And Joel, you're a farmer, and I saw a video of you saying that you described yourself as a caretaker of creation. And I've seen you in a number of films, including the very famous Food Inc., which was shown all over the place. And an article I read about you in Time magazine just a few months ago was very evocative. It just evoked the spirit of America, I think, which is "this land is your land," and saying that you wanted to lead America back to the farm. So what got you interested in farming, Joel, and what's your connection to permaculture?
Well, I've been interested in farming ever since I can remember. I'm second generation here on our farm. My dad and mom were farmers. My grandfather always aspired to be a farmer. He had a large garden. But from my earliest childhood memories, I had laying chickens as a project throughout my teen years, sold eggs, had a garden, and sold it on the curb market, which is the precursor to today's farmers markets. And so I just always had it, in me to farm. I think part of it is just the sense of fulfillment, satisfaction, and security of being surrounded by abundance and embedded in the provision of nature. My first connection to permaculture was through Mother Earth News magazine, which of course was kind of the mouthpiece of the whole Back to the Land movement of the early 1970s, when John Shuttleworth was still at the helm there. And every month they did what they called a plowboy interview. They picked one true pioneer, leader, mover, shaker in the in the alternative thinking movement. And one of those interviews was with Phil Mollison.
Uh-huh.
And that was in the early 1970s, and I remember just like yesterday reading that interview, clipping it, and saying, this is. And I was just a teenager, but I remember the tremendous impact it had on me, and said, well, this is the way to go.
It's interesting, isn't it? And I love that the story of the plowboy interview.
Yes.
But it's interesting how that one thing can really it just rings the bell at the right time. So
yes, well, I was certainly ready for it. And when he mentioned things like stacking and the efficiency zones and the pond building, hydrology, the carbon cycling. I mean, our family was already doing multi-speciation and integrating open land with woodland, and doing compost, limited at that time, not as big as today, but we were portable infrastructure, portable animal shelter, those kinds of things. It was not totally new for us. I mean, the overall basic concepts, because my dad was quite a visionary and out of the box, but it certainly helped to, kind of articulate. Sometimes intuitively we know things are right, but it takes somebody like that, a Dave Holmgren or a Bill Mollison, to codify it and articulate it in a place where we can actually then take it to the marketplace of ideas.
Uh-huh.
and really communicate it.
Yeah. So you've been at the sharp end really for quite a long time, and this article, you really stuck your neck out in quite a lot. And this article, as I said, talks about you wanted to lead America back to the farm. What do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is that no civilization has ever so profoundly abdicated its visceral relationship with food and farming like ours has. And this does not denote a new luxuriant Star Trek existence. It denotes an incredible disrespect for the cycles and the realities of living. That we can so profoundly disconnect ourselves from this ecological umbilical is not a sign of progress. It's a sign of precipitous jumping off of a precarious slope. and so I think that in our culture we need, whether we actually participate in farming or we participate vicariously through knowing farmers, through attending farmers markets or purchasing from buying clubs. The point is that a visceral relationship with the staff of life, food, is fundamental for our existence, our understanding, and our economic, social, and physical well-being. You cannot have an integrity food system, and by all that entails, from the soil all the way to the plate, you cannot have an integrity food system and have so little participation in that. It can't. I wish I could click my fingers and everybody could have integrity food while they spend their days plowing through Hollywood celebrity culture tabloids. But the fact is that is not the case, and so more people have to develop this participatory relationship with the stuff of life.
And this is, I guess, the thrust of your book, Folks, This Ain't Normal.
Yes, it absolutely is. Where we are today is abnormal throughout history. I mean, at no time in history has a civilization routinely eat food that you can't pronounce, eating food that you can't make in your kitchen, eating food that travels 1,500 miles and sees more of the world than the farmer that grew it. At no time in history have we ever been able, even logistically able, to confine animals in large confinement animal feeding operations. With draft power, you simply couldn't assemble enough food and distribute the manure to far enough and wide enough to make something like that happen. Not to mention, pharmaceuticals that keep the animals healthy. So, at no time have we been able so profoundly to eliminate the carbon cycle in building soil. Before now, it always required a perennial rotation between annuals in order to build the soil between the extractive time of tillage and annuals. Today, with chemical agriculture, we just use soil as an inert substance that we just put a chemical IV in and grow plants. And these are just such profound historical abnormalities that we're starting to see those chickens come home to roost in.
Yep.
Wellness issues, chronic illness, soil depletion, water depletion, air quality, energy expense and nutrient deficiency in foods, and all this pathogenicity, toxicity, and a host of other maladies as ecology's profit and loss statement starts to come true.
So do you see the seeds of this change happening? What's your vision for the future? Do you see? Are you optimistic? Do you see the seeds happening, the change happening?
Well, the one thing that I don't do is prophesy. I'm not a prophet, so I actually don't know. I don't know and don't surmise, where we're going. We may implode. We may not. I am perfectly happy to answer where I think we should go.
Yeah. But
I'm not at all ready to say, wow, one day everybody's going to wake up and smell the humus and we're all going to be, happily ever after, because I do see a tremendous pressure from the global, the global ag business and food community, pharmaceutical community, the pressure to, for example, get the EU to adopt genetically modified organisms. Great Britain's response to hoof and mouth disease. When Sir Albert Howard, their own knighted researcher in the 1940s, showed that hoof and mouth disease is strictly a dietary deficiency. And then Great Britain was willing to shut down their entire tourist industry, basically, for the stench of annihilation. When I see disease, I don't assume that I'm not killing enough animals or that I'm pharmaceutically disadvantaged. When I see disease, I look internally and say, what have I done to compromise the immunological terrain? What can I learn from this? What's nature teaching me about health and wellness? Where have I overridden the immunological barrier in terrain? We're back to the Frenchman, Antoine Béchamp, who was a contemporary of Louis Pasteur. But the point that I'm making is that while our side, the permaculture side, is rightfully gaining ground as more and more people do understand that we're on a wrong path, while we've gained momentum in recent years, there is still plenty of momentum for Monsanto, Avantis, and Syngenta, and plenty of people who don't share our biological view of food and farming, and instead see it all as a mechanical situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Joel, that's fabulous. Thank you so much. That's really inspiring with all the work that you're doing, and keep going. I think I'm sure we'll get there one way or the other. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for the call, Mike.
Thank you, Joel. Bye.
Take care. Bye.